Wagwan guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I cannot complain myself. Interesting story here. I don't want to make this video too long. It is a heartfelt story. Things like this happen in the NFL and sports, professional sports. So I don't want to make the video too drawn out and too long and harp on it, but it is a heartfelt story. Kind of, sad, stricken in the story, but it's silver lines and things kind of work out for Darren Waller. But basically, it was a write-up. ESPN featured this on their social media, and basically, it's a docu-series. I may have to watch the whole thing because they clipped it up there pretty good, and it looks good. It looks good, and I probably want to watch it now, right? Probably find it and watch it in its entirety. But he's talking about his bout with substance abuse, and right, it's one of those stories you can kind of you just look at, right? You just kind of look at the story, take it in. It's what he dealt with. It's kind of things that he went through. And it's interesting, right? It's interesting. ESPN clipped it up and put it on their social media. So interesting enough. This is the write-up that they got in there. And again, I don't want to make the video too long. All right. But this is the write-up they got in there. They got, put this on silent. After being suspended for the full 2017 season due to substance abuse violations, Darren Waller overdosed in his car in August of the same year. He later checked into rehab, got clean, and continued his journey in the NFL. And where's this at? Just to put things into perspective, the Miami Dolphins are trading a 2026 sixth-round pick to the New York Giants for a 2027 conditional seventh-round pick and Darren Waller. So he's going to the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. Coming out of retirement, and according to his agent, the Dolphins, they got a deal worth $5 million. 1 year deal, $5 million, right? According to his agent. So his things are looking pretty good. I'm just saying, things are looking pretty good. But getting back to his story, that's, before we even play those clips, that's very, it's commendable that he got clean and continued, just to go through that and then to get clean is commendable. But then, he continues his journey in the NFL. I'm looking to see, what was his motivating, force? What was that, what was that motivating force to still drive him, right? Something definitely, is driving you that, he's definitely driven. I can say that, right? Ambitious, I would say. But, just speaking really quickly, about him, I'll tell you this. And you know what? I'll say this. It was interesting too, because I used to watch the True Life on MTV. It was a good show. You can watch that. Was it My 600-Pound Life? They got some other shows on there, which is pretty good. I used to watch the True Life, right? I used to check that stuff out. Really quickly too, I used to watch this Sister Wife show with my aunt a lot, but just this whole story in general, it reminds me of True Life, which used to come on MTV. I don't know if they play it anymore, but it used to come on MTV a ton, and I used to watch it when it came on. But interesting story. And they clipped it up, they put it on ESPN social media, so I probably will eventually have to watch it. If I can remember, I'll try to find it and watch his whole his whole story. But just kind of looking at Darren Waller before we play those clips really quickly. I first took notice of him through his relationship with Chelsea Plum. And a little bit about her is, I believe she wins 2 championships back to back. Excuse me. And she also goes to a few All-Star games. She makes a few All-Star games, and she wins 2 championships back to back. She's still playing too. I think she's maybe 30. This Wikipedia I'm looking at, it just sounds wrong, so I'm not even going to attempt to read that. But that's when I first took notice of him. And if my memory serves me correct, she wins 1 championship, and that's while they're married. They're married. And I believe they end up getting a divorce or some type of split. And that next season she wins again, if my memory serves me correct. They win it all again. So it was just a lot kind of going on with Darren, to tell you the truth, right? Failed marriage. I believe they were married. Let's just make sure really quickly. Yeah, they were married. They definitely were married. Right. And insane, dude. Insane. But he definitely was dealing with a lot. And you add in substance abuse, you really don't know how individuals are doing. And I don't say that in a way to make it sound mean, but you see someone that's in a premier league. You see someone whose spouse is also too in a premier league. Contracts are superb, and which would only lead you to believe that these guys are living superstar lives, which, yes, it is. They probably are living superstar lives, but it could be very difficult to deal and handle that type of lifestyle, because it's a lifestyle too. You still gotta, you look at that itinerary and it's jumping. That itinerary is dancing, boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you right now that you got your nap listed. Your nap is listed in an itinerary. Look, this when you get a chance to go to sleep. I'm telling, and I'm not saying that in a way to be mean or anything, but your day's planned out for you. Okay, your day is planned out for you, and interesting, just interesting story. I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip for you because I don't want to sit up here and talk too long.
The old adage of he's the first guy in and the last one to leave. It was just like the opposite for me. I was just like get in when I had to, and then as soon as I could leave, I would leave, because I just didn't really want to be there. It was so anxiety ridden. I get to the point where I'm failing all these drug tests, like on purpose, pretty much. August 11th, 2017 was the day they were having the first preseason game of that season that I wasn't going to be there. I overdosed in my Jeep. That was easily the lowest moment. The team doctors from the Ravens set up a meeting with an addiction specialist, and they were like, yeah, you need to go to rehab immediately for substance abuse, but also like social anxiety and depression, like mental health as well.
As he served his year-long suspension and committed himself to rehab, Waller's outlook began to change. And for a few months, so did his occupation.
I was a grocery clerk. So, yeah, anything that had to do with groceries, that was me. I was more content with my life then than what I was, early on in Baltimore because, I was trying to live an honest life in 11.62 an hour. And I was starting to respect myself more. So it was like, it wasn't about the money that was in my pocket or anything like that. It was just, I was just learning more about what life really means.
Amazing. Very interesting. I definitely want to watch the full documentary. That's just what ESPN clipped up on their social media. And I want to know, was it just bad drugs and he overdosed that way, or was it because he was now in the NFL and he had just more money and he's just at his leisure, and that's kind of what led to the overdose? Like, I kind of want to know more into that kind of backstory. How did this substance abuse begin? Was it stemming from, that's kind of what I want to know more about. And hopefully he talks about, I'm pretty sure he does in that documentary. But he's a good guy. He definitely, I'm definitely happy that, he, you see stories and you kind of, right, it's widely, mostly known as like you're winning a lottery, but now you get, this guy's been through a lot. This guy's been through adversity, so it's not a lottery, right? Whenever you're gonna hear Darren Waller name, for the first down or for the completion, you're not gonna be like, oh, this guy is, you're gonna say, no, this guy is out there doing something that he loves, and he basically probably most definitely earned his paycheck, just looking at the adversity that he faced to get on the field, stay on the field, right? I think I had something else too I want to mention about that documentary, but oh yes, that $11 an hour, that's when reality started to set in. All right, because he had to sit down for a year because I think he was suspended, and then he had to step away from the game because he had to go through rehab. Not even talking about a suspension, because the suspension came through the failed drug test, but then he overdosed while on suspension. So interesting guy. I'm just saying, like, that $11 an hour, I mean, that's where hey man, reality set it in, right? Like, I don't know how many NFL checks he cashed in, right? And he's kind of looking at, like, maybe like, okay, just looking at reality, and it's just one of those things. And I happy that he's back, back on the field, back with a team. And his agent just announced that he signed a 1 year for $5 million, and he's a tight end. So happy to hear that. You just listening to his story, just in those little clips, just in those little bites, you get a lot. So that's what I got for you guys. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like content like this. I hope to see you back here again. Peace, guys. Ciao.